Hi, hello all. Good evening. Let me unmute you all. Yeah,
Good evening, Ajay.
good evening. Yeah. So now let us try to start first class. Okay. So you can take whatever we are going to start now onwards. That is the regular classes only. Okay. So there is no special attention for the demo classes. Okay. Uh, Day one onwards, these are the regular classes. What we are discussing in the day one, those are the continuation part, and very importantly, we will see in many places also. Okay, so that's what. So today, let us see again the curriculum part, which is very important for you, especially it is the matter, right? So that's why let us just see quickly what we discussed yesterday in the curriculum. Let us see again. So as I told you, SQL Server is one of the very important technology we should know. Okay. So this is mainly, as we discussed yesterday, it is mainly using for query purpose. Okay. Of course, database technology, you should know one database technology you should be aware. So by knowing that any other database technology also, you are in a position to handle actually by just referring some documentation based on your situation. That's what the main thing. So one SQL technology we should know, and because we selected the cloud Azure, so Microsoft product. So SQL Server is also Microsoft product. So in real time also, in most of the projects, you are going to have a SQL Server as a default database. Okay. So that's the reason we taken this one. Okay. Then very importantly, Data Factory, Azure Data Factory, we are using for data migration purpose from source to sink or destination to migrate the data from multiple locations. This is the very flexible tool, which is actually completely drag and drop. So there is no coding at all, completely basing on your situation, basing on the logic, basing on the requirement actually. So there are some tasks will be there, some assignments will be there. So accordingly, we are going to use it. So that's where actually logically you should be good. No coding required in this case actually. So you should be little aware of JSON structure. Anyhow, we are going to discuss from the scratch. We are not going to assume this you know that you know. Anything we are going to discuss from the scratch. So that's the main thing here. Okay. So Data Factory is capable to do many things. That not only just data migration, it is also able to do the transformations part. But a transformations part we are going to perform in the Databricks part actually. Because especially Databricks, in this we are going to have a PySpark, or we are going to have a PySQL also. Okay. So this is nothing actually. PySQL is nothing but what you have here. Okay. SQL, what you learned here, same thing you are going to use here with some PySpark code. Okay. So very easily, you are not going to put any extra effort to understand this one. Nothing is there. So Databricks is always mainly people are using for data processing actually. Okay. In general, any organization going to have a huge amount of data. So that data you need to process it for many reasons actually, for removing unnecessary day columns, rows, or for changing the data, existing data, for creating the new data, or for mainly for aggregating the data actually. Data processing is one of the important tasks. So that we are going to perform by the platform Databricks by using the coding either by PySpark or PySQL actually. Of course, other languages are there, but we are going to use these two only. So this is one of the trending technology. These three actually the core technologies in the Azure cloud to do the data engineering task. So that's why we are discussing all these three from the scratch, like anything. And we are going to deep dive as much is required to survive in your real time, at least for 3 years of experience actually. Okay. That's what we are ensuring. Okay. Now, as I discussed even earlier also, Azure Synapse Analytics. If you know all these three, so just spending 1 hour, you will understand that all these things readily available in this also. So nothing is extra. Whatever is extra, some basic features, anyhow, we are going to see actually. Okay. So that's what why I am mentioning this one, though I am not discussing much in this part, is because in the requirements also, whenever you apply for any job, they might mention the technology wise Synapse also. So don't think that you don't know Synapse. So here and there, while discussing some scenarios, I'm going to discuss those things in the Synapse actually. Okay. Then we are going to have a data stores like your hard disk actually in the cloud where you are going to keep your files, okay, different format files, or text messages, text files, or CSV files, XML files, JSON files. So like that, many format files are going to be there. So where you are going to keep all these files in the cloud actually. So, so one of the famous data store is Data Lake, and of course, as usually, Blob also. Okay. Here, images, audio, video, anything you can keep it. So the moment you started Data Factory, you are going to see this one also. Parallelly, you are going to get familiar with these technologies. Okay. We no need to put any extra effort to understand these things. On the flow, you will understand everything. Okay. And then we are going to have a Delta Lake, one of the emerging data base, you can say, data warehouse, you can say actually. So this is people are going to use because of many features, many advantages. So even yesterday also, I just given a very overview, very high level overview, but we are going to deep dive like anything, this part actually. In that, of course, this is part of the Databricks only, but we are mentioning this one because it have a that much importance in the any project actually nowadays. Okay. So Delta Lake, one of the key technology we should understand actually. Okay. This is of course like a database actually, or you can say like a data lake. So that's what the table and file format, both you are going to have a feel in this Delta Lake. What and all you will get the clarity at that time actually. Okay. And very importantly, knowing all these things, just knowing these things is not going to help you much. For freshers, that will help. Okay. But as an experienced person, if you are keeping 3 years means, so that 3 years, how much knowledge they are going to have, that much you are also going to have when you gone through all the real-time scenarios, what we are discussing in our class. So you have to do the hands-on part, then only you are going to understand real depth what we discussed in the class actually. So as I told you, attending the live class is one of the step one, every day try to attend the class. Then the second step, do the hands-on what we discussed in the class. Okay. So by next class itself, try to complete it. And then third one is homework to get the confidence. Okay. So these three steps you are going to have actually, it is your duty to maintain. Okay. Then another thing is, of course, project part. So we are going to see the three projects. One, we are going to see live project, which we are going to see from the scratch. So as I told even yesterday also, development phase is very not that much big thing after all scenarios completed. Okay. But along with the development, okay, of course, we will see the development. What are all different phases are possible in the project actually. Then you are going to have, uh, though you don't have relative experience in this particular domain, but at that time when you discuss this one is going to make you feel that yes, you are going to have a picture in our mind exactly how real time is going to happen for the one project actually. So that is going to give you a lot of confidence actually. So in all the ways, all the things we are going to cover if you observe actually. Okay. So then remaining two projects, second project and third project, as a pre-recorded you are going to get. Okay. So not these are also not a pre-recorded things, not plainly discussed actually. So these are the projects which we discussed for previous batches actually. Okay. So previous batch recordings, whatever is there, this is separate another project. No, there is no similarity. This is completely unique project. You'll never find anywhere in anywhere in any training institute. You will not find this third project. So data migration project only, but many we written our own algorithms actually. Logically, this is very good. Okay, so it is almost 11 plus hours it is there actually, which we discussed for previous batches. So that you are going to get as a pre-recorded. So after your live classes, if you are really interested, you are going to get you spend this some time on these projects also. All three projects you can keep in your resume as your real time projects actually. Okay, such a way we are going to discuss. So that's what first of all the curriculum for this particular course or entire training what we are going to see. So one by one, we are going to explore actually, sometimes together. So over a time, by integrating all of them, we are going to discuss. So these things in your project, in your real time, these are not individual things. We are going to integrate all these things actually. So whatever technologies here we are seeing, all of them are going to integrate and whenever you do any particular task, all technologies are going to work parallelly. Okay. So you will get the clarity when you are deeping dive actually. Okay. So that's what first of all, curriculum wise, hope it is clear. Yeah. So as I told you also, recordings, whoever enroll for the course, for them I used to provide previous batch recordings, not a previous batch recordings. Till now we completed 15 batches actually. Out of 15 batches, whatever best videos and different concepts we have, all those things we have in the drive actually. We will provide that drive access. So let me just show you that quickly. So yesterday I shown you that how you are going to get the recordings. Okay. So hope you are able to see. So this is the folder where you are going to have a um, recordings. Okay, you can see 3 projects recording, previous batch recordings, all best videos actually, and all different videos. Okay, and then here we have a data flows, one of the concept in the data factory actually. So as I am saying that whoever complete the enrollment, priorly I will provide the recordings so that along with the live classes, you can spend if you have a time on the recordings also so that proactively you can learn the things. Okay. So that's what the main intention. Okay. So, and I told you that recordings, how you are providing, for example, previous batch recordings, which just now completed. So these are this way you are going to get your recordings. So every day, what concept on that particular day, what concept is discussed and its corresponding recording link you are going to have. So by seeing the concept, you can open your corresponding link so that you have, if you miss the class also, you have a backup. That's what the main intention to provide the recording. Okay. So as I told you also, not only this, I told you that go through the YouTube channel. Okay. Edufulness, the same name you can search and go to the Udemy. So search with Edufulness or Achyut. Okay. You will find all my work. So have a look. And as I told you, first 3 classes are completely free. After that only you can decide for enrollment actually. Okay. So that's what the quickly overview what we discussed of course yesterday, and just today I'm just recapping you for your benefit. Okay. So if you have any doubts, feel free to ask now before going to see the next part. That is the actual subject. So always I keep on saying to students actually, feel free to ask doubts. So students' doubts is the highest priority. always actually. Yeah.
Yeah, hi. Actually, what was the course duration like? How many days?
The course duration, at least it will take 2 months. On top of that, you can consider 1 or 2 weeks extra. That basing on the how we are discussing regularly. Okay.
Is there any fast track for this?
No man, no fast track because I never discuss the things hurriedly. Okay. So the fast track means you have to take the recordings. That is the only option. Okay.
So, because in recordings, every class will not be there, I think. So, because of your privacy mostly. So that's the
No,
reason.
no, no, no. Everything more, in the recordings, you are going to get more topics than live. What way I can tell you? Suppose 1.5 year back, maybe some topics I discussed. So 1 or 2 topics I may not discussing now because of those things, maybe because of new topics added. Suppose in the Databricks, this Delta Lake, I didn't discuss it 1.5 year or 2 years back. But
Yeah.
from last 8 months, I am discussing this topic because this is the trending one.
Yeah.
So data flows, I am discussing partially because in the data factory, anyhow, those things we are not using much in the real time actually. Basing on my real time only, I am taking the decisions. Okay.
Yeah.
So that way, but in the recordings, just now I shown you, right? In the recordings, everything you will get. So you see the data flows also there. Everything you are going to, okay? So
Okay.
like that in the recordings, everything will be there. If you want fast trackly, along with the live classes, no, there is no problem. I will provide actually. We are always encouraging you to learn much.
Okay.
Yeah, daily recordings will be provided, Navin, Nathan. After the class, after the class, within 15 minutes, I will share the recordings in that sheet, whatever I shown. Okay. In the next day or same day, after the some time, you can get it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let us continue. Okay. So now your side, what things you have to arrange actually. So prerequisites means not the knowledge wise. So knowledge wise, I am assuming you don't know anything. Okay. So I'm assuming such a way. So that's why I used to discuss anything from the scratch so that you will feel even today itself also. Okay. So now your side, but for your practice purpose, what you need. So one is actually installation. So try to install SQL Server in your laptop, personal laptop actually, or you try to have it somewhere. So SQL Server, try to arrange it along with that SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio, where you are going to have a develop the scripts actually. So just try to arrange this by tomorrow itself. Okay. Because as I told yesterday, 70% of the concepts we are going to discuss in SQL side in the first week. That means this week we are going to see 70% concepts actually. Okay. And Azure side, remaining 30% of the time we are going to spend. So in the first week, what we are discussing, SQL side, that we are going to use in the data factory, which we are going to start from the next week actually. So next Monday onwards. So by that time, basic SQL, whatever is required, that much we will complete actually, so that you are comfortable even if I use any SQL commands, SQL concepts in the data factory actually. So that's the main intention. By that time, Azure related basics we will try to understand. So that's why remaining 30% of the time we are going to spend. So that's what by tomorrow itself, on priority, try to arrange SQL Server in your local system for practicing. Then the next one is account actually. Azure account is mandatorily required for us for practicing. Data Factory, Databricks, any other things. Because we selected the cloud Azure means you should have an account. So this one is, you are going to get a 30 days free trial. Okay. And you are going to get $200 free credit also. So if your 30 days is completed, so you are unable to use your account, or if your $200 is completed within 30 days, then you are unable to use your account. But this is more than enough to practice what we are discussing actually. And billing wise also, I used to start showing you from the day one onwards, so that you will be conscious, you will use your credit consciously, so that we will take care. And we are one of the skill in your real time also. Okay, nobody will ask, but in real time, if you are aware of this billing, definitely appreciation you will get. Okay. So that's what main thing. But don't try to create the Azure account. You need a credit card to create this account. Or if you are working in a corporate, you can create the free trial directly with that with your corporate mail ID. Okay. So that, but any whatever that, don't try to create the account this week. Next Monday, that means Monday, not Monday, Tuesday morning, you try to create the account, then start what we discussed actually. Till that time, you no need to create, because it is 30 days only exists. So this 1 week is unnecessarily we are creating, because much time we are spending on the SQL, which is mandatorily is required before starting the data factory. Okay. So this is what simply your side you need to arrange for better practice actually. Okay. Now, okay, that's what prerequisites we have done. Okay. Now let us see the next one. So as we discussed, we are going to start the SQL part first. Okay. So as I told you that I am not going to think you know something knowledge wise. MySQL, you are asking? Yeah, Navin. See, it is up to you actually. Any one database technology is mandatorily we should know. So commands wise, it is almost same. So you feel free to install MySQL or any other, not at all a problem. Okay. Yeah. So now let us see. We are going to start the SQL. Today, theoretically, we are going to see something interesting. Definitely, you will feel something new also. So my sincere request always, not just for today's class, in regular classes also, try to answer whatever I am asking. That may be a silly question, that may be a complex question, that may be right or wrong, don't bother. Try to answer. That means the intention is you have to participate in the discussion. So always try to participate in the discussion. Actually, it is not completely one way. So SQL side, we are taking this as a table actually. Okay. We are going to take this as a table. So in the next slide, you will find definitely something new, though you are 5 years, 10 years experienced person in the database. So that is going to applicable what we are discussing in the Databricks also. Okay. So that's why try to listen carefully. So here we are going to have a table. So especially table, what we have, if you observe, these things we are calling as a columns. Okay. So there is a alias name which we are going to use in your real time also. That is called attributes. Okay. Is my screen is not visible? Hello. Can you confirm, everyone?
It's visible.
It's visible.
Okay. So one of you is mentioning, yeah. So columns is also calling as a attributes actually. So definitely this is the regularly used terminology in your real time. If you are completely new, try to remember these words. Okay. So in a table, you are going to have a set of columns or attributes, and these things we are calling as a rows or records. Okay. alias names, frequently interchangeable names people will use. Not only this, pure database name is tuples or tuples. Okay. So this word also you will find regularly, especially foreigners will use these words actually. So that means if your client sometimes may use this word. So that time you should be aware these terminologies actually. That's the main intention. So here this is the database. This is a table actually. It is actually a set of rows and columns. So this is called structured data. So structured means if anybody asks anything, you can answer very easily. For example, in the first row, Smith is there. So Smith's salary is what means you can say here salary is 800. So that quickly you are able to answer, that is because of it is combination of rows and columns. So here if you observe that, how many rows if you have, how many columns if you have. So rows are 14, columns are 8. So columns, especially if you see MP number, e-name, job, MGR, hire date, salary, commission, department number. So why this EMP table only we selected for our discussion? It is not a random table. It is not a random data what you have here. So 14 records what you have, that data is actually real engineering is happened behind by the Oracle team very long back, many decades back, they created this table actually. So we also selected this simple table with 14 records so that when you are practicing any topic, especially any topic you take in the SQL, that topic related scenario you can identify here. That topic related data you can identify here. Such a beautiful table is this one EMP table. So in most of our discussions, we are going to use this EMP table for better understanding the concepts. So whether it is a 14 records, 14K records, 14,000 records, or 14 lakh records, or 14 billion records, that is not at all a matter. Concept understanding on this 14 records, concept on this 14 billion records is same. So on a simple table with a simple with a minimum number of records, you can easily identify that concept actually. And every concept you can apply on this table. That's why this table we taken. So this table creation and all I will show you tomorrow actually. Okay. So with this basic, let us try to move to the next. So here you need to answer one simple question, or let me ask you here. Suppose if you have a database, so everyone please try to participate. Some of you might know actually, but still you try to answer it. Whether it is right or wrong, that is the main thing. Okay. So here in the database, suppose if you have a table, as we are saying here, if you take a table, come on, tell me, what are the operations you are going to apply on this table? What are the different operations you are going to apply? Come on, tell me.
For
Right.
duplicates.
Don't bother about others. Nobody is in front of you. Select
First,
the best place to practice participating. Yeah.
DDL, DFL.
Not very high level words actually. Just as a layman, what are the different operations you will perform if any table in front of you?
Select,
We
add,
can add
Insert,
rows.
update, delete.
Yeah, exactly.
update, delete. Yes.
So you can insert the data into a database, that means table. You can delete the data, right? Any other? You can update the data. Any other operation? Come on.
Select the date.
You can select the data also, right?
Yes.
Yes. Now, so that's the good thing. 4 operations. You see, you take any table. These are the 4 operations only. You take anything. Okay. So out of these, alter means update only. Okay. Alter is different actually. I am talking about the data wise. out of these 4 operations, insert, delete, update, select, which operation you are going to perform mostly on the table?
Select.
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 Select. Any other answer? Which operation you are going to apply most of the times?
Mostly
Delete.
select and update.
Mostly select and update.
Okay.
Select and insert.
Yeah, select. Delete.
Delete. Okay. So very simple to understand this betterly. So you take any account creation, for example, if you are creating your Gmail account, for example. So while creating Gmail account, you given your email ID, password, okay, and different things like date of birth, gender, all these things you given. So when you creating first time, all these details are going to insert with your profile photo, going to insert in the database of the Gmail. So in the Gmail database, first time it is inserted actually. So that's all done. So very rarely you are going to change your profile pic, or you are going to change your date of birth or something, data password, all these things, you are going to very rarely update. And sometimes some of the things you may be delete. That is also very rare. But every day, multiple times, you are logging in into your account actually. Every time when you log in, your profile photo is coming, your ID is coming, or some other basic details are coming in your window actually. So every day with a mail ID, you are searching actually. That's what search or select you can say. Instead of select, we can say much relative word at this moment is search. Search is the such a important operation. Even till now also much research is going on for betterly search the required data in a huge amount of database actually. So search is one of the very important. That's what select operation. Even whoever already working in the database side also, the command which you use mostly is select actually. How much? 99% of the times you use select command. So it is retrieving the data from a table. That's what searching and then returning to the console or wherever you asked. So that's what actually search operation is such an important thing. Okay. So that's why these things we never bother. SQL is nothing but understanding the search, in the search many things. All other are supporting to the search only. So in real time also people are going to insert the data one time. If very rarely delete or update is going to apply. But regularly search is going to happen. Select command is going to apply. So that's why let us try to understand first of all the select command, very important. Okay. Of course, other things we will see. Whenever is required, we will see its meaning and its importance actually. Okay. Yeah. Now if you move, so what is the select command? So here we are using it for selecting the data from a database. That's all. Simple. So leave that part. Okay. So come here, select clause structure is what? What we are discussing in this slide, it is not just for today purpose or not just for the SQL purpose. It is also applicable for even PySpark, Databricks also. Applicable means their structure is somewhat different. Though in PySpark you are writing scripts, by understanding here, there you can write much betterly actually. So that's why with that intention, in the day one itself, we are discussing this part. So you can see how the select command is going to exist. So attributes means what actually? Come on.
Columns.
Columns, what we seen in the last slide. So from a table, so there is a select clause. You are calling this part is a clause. Select clause, from clause. This part is a clause. So in the from clause, you are mentioning in a database actually, So maybe this week you will get the clarity how the database hierarchy will exist. In a database, you are going to have a multiple tables actually. So table 1, table 2, table 3. So if you take any organization, sales table, products table, okay, discounts table, so transactions table, like that, many things will be there actually. So reviews table, okay. So there are many tables actually. When there are many tables, when there are simple in front of you on a table, student list one paper is there, faculty list one table is there, department list one paper is there, like that multiple papers are there. So that is what all the papers. But from which paper you need the data, from which table you need the data, so that table information you are mentioning in the from clause. And then in this table, which particular columns you need, that's what attributes you are writing with comma separate here. Okay. So in the select clause, you always writing column names actually. That means you are filtering columns here. So in the previous EMP table, 8 columns are there actually. I need only 4 columns. So those 4 columns here I am mentioning. So those 4 columns only coming in the output. Always what is there in the select class that will come in the output, that is from next from class. So that means from which table you need these columns you are mentioning in the from class. Then along with these two, there are some other commands actually followed by what order you are writing here. Syntactically same order you should follow. So that's what where clause next. So in the where clause actually, it is filtering the rows actually, records. Filtering the columns, filtering the rows. Okay. So that means which row you need, which row you don't need. For example, student table is there. In the student table, you need only CSC department students. So that's what you are filtering remaining actually. Mechanical students you are removing. Okay. Removing means you are not taking out in the output. Okay. So that's what filtering the rows. So in the form of condition you are mentioning. So where department equal to CSC. So that means only condition you are mentioning. Whoever satisfying that condition, those only coming in the output. That's what the where clause is going to take care. So simply you are filtering the rows or records in the where clause. Then sometimes you need to go for the group by. Suppose in a classroom there are 60 students are there. So you want to group them actually. So group them meaning is what? For example, all boys is one group, all girls are one group. Or grade wise. A grade students one group, B grade students one group, C grade students. So like that sometimes you have to perform the group by. One of the very important concepts as a data engineer, you should master this clause. From very scratch, we are going to see very meaningfully. We are going to spend almost more than 1 hour on this particular group by actually. Of course, on whereby also on where clause also 1 hour we will spend. Each clause is going to take at least one class actually. So group by is simply for grouping the data who have the same data. That means A grade, B grade like that. Then having clause is actually filtering the groups actually. So you observe here, filtering the columns, filtering the rows. After groups prepared, which group you need in the output, which group you don't need in the output. If you need that filter further, you are going for the having clause. Listen carefully, your participation is there after this part. So after all these things is done, you want to display the data in a specific order. That means ascending or descending order. Okay. Then you are going to have a order by class. You are going to mention the column name. So by mentioning column name, that particular column is going to arrange in a ascending order or descending order. So this also going to take more than 30 minutes. Lot of interesting discussion is there in each clause actually. So that's what in first week we are maximum trying to complete. If not completed, we will see in the next upcoming classes actually. But each one will take at least one class to complete them. So such a way you are going to master this particular select clause overall. So these are the clauses we have. And out of these 6 clauses, if you see, these 2 are mandatory in your command. So mandatorily these 2 commands should be there, and these 4 are optional. They may exist, may not exist. That is not at all a problem. But the thing is, when you are writing a query, all these 6 or some of them maybe not exist, but they should exist in the same order. That is very important. So first writing select clause, then where clause, then from clause is not at all allowed. So sometimes select clause, from clause, suppose where is not there, so you can go for the group by clause. But order is same order how you are writing commands. So that is very strict. So understand that particular part. Now your part, you understood that all these classes meaning wise. So there is a table, EMP table. Okay. Then tell me, if you write all the clauses, which one is going to execute first, and then next, and then next. One by one only I will ask you, then only you try to answer it. Order of evolution. That means for you written this query, submitted to the compiler actually. Then the compiler is going to take which particular command out of these 6 first. That's what first who is going to execute. Which clause is going to execute? Come on, tell me one by one. Now tell me first one is what?
From.
From.
First one is what?
From.
From
From.
class.
Okay.
From class.
Yeah. So that's really great. So from clause is going to execute first. Whatever you are doing remaining clauses, that is on the table only, right? So out of existing tables in your database, on which table you want to apply. So first of all, you have to pick the table actually. So the very first class is going to execute is from clause. When you have all these 6. Okay. From clause is the very first one is going to execute. So that what table names you mention, those tables data, first of all, it is selected. Then after this, what is the next clause is going to execute? No, don't be hurry. Only next class try to answer.
Where?
Where class?
Where class? Any
condition.
other answer?
Select.
Where class?
Where class? Okay. Again and again, I'm saying feel free to answer because that is
Select.
better. Okay. For your purpose only. Yeah. Some people saying select and some of you told group where. Any other answer other than these 2?
Group by?
Group by. Okay. Okay. Right. So it's very simple. See now, you see the from clause executed means what you have in front of you. You have the table data, is it or not? Because so and so table data you already selected from the from clause. Then on this data, either select where, group by, having, order by is going to work. So who is going to execute next on this is actually where clause is doing what actually filtering the rows. So very simple. There is a person. Okay. There is a person who need to carry some bag. So start out simple. There are many bags are there. So one bag he has to carry. So bag 2 he has to carry. So he taken bag 2. Next immediately, which you don't need in this bag, try to remove them. You no need to carry actually. Is it or not? It will not burden you actually because you have to keep it in your shoulder. Then you have to carry it. So unnecessary part you remove first. That's what filter, apply the condition, which rows not required, you try to remove. only required rows are coming in the after applying the where clause. So better try to remove unnecessary records if you write a where clause. So apply the what you written in the condition, apply it on the existing data. Who is not satisfying those rows, you remove it. Only satisfied records you consider for the further steps. So that unnecessary step, unnecessary burden you eliminated. Like here. So your load, your weight is reduced. So you can carry it very comfortably to further actually. So that's all simple. So immediately, logically, compiler is going to execute such a way compilers are designed. So where clause is going to execute on the data. Come on, next tell me who is going to execute. Come on.
Group by.
Group by.
Group by. Any other answer?
Select.
Select, okay. So many people still keep quiet. Okay.
After first one, why not select? Why not where? Why? Because in select also we are going to give some attributes like column 1, column 2, right? So
But
Yeah,
without having table, from where you will remove the from where you will select the columns.
no, after from class, why we are not going to take the select
So
instead?
you are unnecessarily carrying the not required data, right?
So even though
So
in select
filtering
we are
is
having,
huh?
even though in select we are having some only attributes like only column, like first one I'm asking.
Wait. See, actually, okay, your question, just hold it. Okay. After all the classes order is completed, I will answer it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because at that time better okay, or simply now also you can see you are applying group by means. So column names, not column names which you are using here, or attribute names which you are using here, not the direct names from the table. So how you will apply select without applying group by? Understand?
But it's from the table from class.
No, sometimes these column names not directly from the table also. Column names what you are going to have in the select may not directly exist in the table. In between also they are going to apply as a derived columns or as a aggregated columns. So there are
Like
many things.
yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, next. Next is what actually? Who is next? So as many of you told that it is group by class. So after this existing data, after filtering the unnecessary records, so going for the group by, if you have this group by clause in your command, in your query actually. Okay. So what group by is doing on this existing data, logically, whoever have same data is preparing one group. Okay. So that's what. See, I'm just giving overview. Every class separately we are going to spend one class at least. Okay. So on this existing data, who have same data, as I told you, grade. So for example, group by grade, who have all A grade students, one group. Logically, it have some meaning. Logically means B grade, one group, C grade, one group, like that. So groups are preparing in the group by class. So immediately group by class is going to apply. Okay. Then after this, who is next?
Having.
Having. Okay. Any other answer? So you are 100% correct. Having clause is going to execute in the compiler after the group by class. So now what is happening is, for example, here 4 records are there. Here 5 records are there. Here 7 records are there. So C grade students are 7, for A grade 4, B grade 5. Then in the having, as it is saying that only filter the groups. That means you are writing condition. Filter means condition only always. So you are telling that which group have more than 4, greater than 4. That means this is equal to 4. So this group will not come in the output. So this group and this group will come in the output. So you are filtering the groups actually by using the having clause. So that is what actually. So now when you apply only group by, 3 groups are there. When you apply having clause, 2 groups are there. So you will get that time clarity. This is just overview. Okay. So that's what having clause is going to execute immediately after group by clause if it is existed. Okay. Then come on, tell me now only 2 clauses are there. Which one is going to execute?
Select.
Select and order by. Who is next? Order by or select?
Select.
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 Come on, tell me anybody the reason?
Because the order by works on column.
So immediately after this, it is going to execute select clause because you see the order by is doing what actually is after finalizing the data, what you want to return to the console or you want to return to somewhere, simply the output. After finalizing the output on one of the column or multiple columns also. So as a layman, first of all, take one of the column. On one of the column, you want to display the data either in ascending order or descending order. So first of all, you finalize what data you want to return to the output. So that's why select is coming into the picture. So after all this work is done, basing on the some commands exist, some commands may not exist. What columns you have in the select clause, those columns data you prepare here. So that output data, final data is ready now. On that final data, you need to apply the order by clause. So that in a specific order, either ascending or descending is going to happen. That's why after select only order by is going to execute. So the way what you written, that is not the exact order in the execution in the compiler side actually. Okay. So this is what order of evolution. This will help you even in the PySpark also, because in the PySpark you no need to maintain this order. But here strictly you have to maintain because it is syntactically you should follow. But there you no need to maintain the same order. But this order will help you to write a optimal code actually for data processing purpose. Okay. That time again I will remind you. Okay. After completion of all these concepts. Okay. So this is what order of evolution. Whenever you have any select statement, how it is happening. Okay. Any confusions here? No, sir. Yeah.
Just, I have one question.
Yeah, please. Tirupati.
Yeah, you said you told earlier after from class or where class will execute late because of the load will be reduced. But by performing the select command also, but only few columns are selected, so there also load will be reduced, right?
So the thing is, you should not see the thing is select clause you should not apply immediately after the from clause. As I mentioned here, there are other concepts in between group by and having. You are applying group by means, for example, suppose in our EMP table, you have 8 columns. Okay. So 8 columns, column 1 for example, EMP number, e-name. So like that 8 columns are there. On one of the column, you applied group by, for example, department wise. Whoever in the same department become a one group. After grouping, you are going to do something. So that's what aggregations you are going to perform. You are doing a group by means aggregate functions are going to come into the picture. Okay. So aggregations are coming into the picture means the columns what you are going to get, those are not exist originally in your table. So immediately after from clause, if I write a query with a group by, those columns not exist in this actually. Those are coming into the picture intermediately. So how you will execute select clause immediately after from clause. So simply the columns what you have here, that means attributes what you have here will not directly exist in the table sometimes. So it is not a good time to execute select immediately after from. So that's why let you try to complete what data finally, then only on the final data you are going to apply select clause. So do you have earlier knowledge on aggregate functions, all these things, Tirupati?
I have just with basic knowledge like
Yeah,
how
no
to use the
worries. I'm just asking because at that time, again, I will repeat you this question. It is not, as I told you here, 8 columns are there. So column 1 to column 8. So suppose column 8, comma, I return sum of salary. So this is the new column name which not exist in your original table. So how you will find this data? So from select is not a good choice immediately after from. Okay.
okay.
Okay. Yeah. Any other doubts? Okay. So very importantly, as I told you, so I'm stopping here. So I don't want to overload you. Okay. In the first class itself. So as we discussed here, come here. This is very important, your side. Don't forget this particular part. By tomorrow, try to have it. Tomorrow, we will start discussing practically. We will open the SSMS. There we will start writing the comments one by one. Select statement distinct, group by having, where clause. In the where clause, though sometimes you may have. So I know that some of you have 10 years of experience in the database side. But when you are discussing where clause, you are definitely going to find some new concepts actually, though you are master in that database side. Okay. And at the same time, most complex part and most frequently asked questions from the group by clause, having clause, okay, order by clause. So those things you are going to understand very easily manner. You will never forget. And in the interviews, that is the very basic mandatory questions you will get from the group by all these things. So don't miss first week classes. Okay. Try to attend the live classes so that your questions, your doubts can clear there itself. Okay. So by tomorrow, try to install SQL Server in your local machines so that you also can practice after the class immediately. Okay. Don't delay it. By next week, try to arrange the account actually. Don't create if you have everything. Don't try to create now. It's next Monday, after Monday, Tuesday, we will try to create the account. Okay. Because it is 30 days, so don't lose these 7 days. Anyhow, we are not going to discuss much on the Azure side. Yeah. Okay. So use the same link what you used today. Okay, store it somewhere. Make it as a bookmark. So every day same uh, link we are going to use for classes. Okay.
One question, sir.
Yeah.
You are providing the recordings, but you will also provide the PDF which you are explaining.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because see, whoever required, whoever have a time to watch previous records, so definitely we are happy to provide. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. If you don't have any doubts, yeah, Siva, please call me. I will tell you. Okay. I told already in the yesterday class. call me personally tomorrow. Okay, if you don't have any doubts, that's all for today. Let us meet tomorrow, same time, 8:30 to 9:30. Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Bye.